Welcome to South Asia. This is J. Reddy, your anchor and facilitator for South Asia in Maps, educational channel which is going to bring the knowledge about South Asian history, geography, heritage and culture in the form of images, pictures, icons. Please welcome to our channel and consider in supporting this educational channel. Today's topic of discussion is very important. I will be making a series of presentations within the next couple of weeks, days, about Hyderabad or Hyderabad Deccan, or I can say Nizamiya Hyderabad or Asafiya Hyderabad. In this particular presentation today, I'll be giving a bird's eye view of Hyderabad since its inception in 1724 to 1948, when it demised after Operation Polo, a brief military engagement by the Dominion of India. After completion listening of this presentation, you will have very good clarity about the Deccan, the Bahmanis, its splintered states, Mughal annexation of Bijapuri Sultan and Golconda Sultans, and 6 Subhas of Deccan, the death of Mughal Padshah Alamgir in 1707, and the rise of his important general, later known as Asaf Jah or Nizamul Mulk, or popularly called Nizam, and name is also given to all the rulers of the dynasty, the Nizams, and he was the Subedar of Deccan provinces and Subedar of Hyderabad. Hyderabad in Deccan, Dakshinapatha, or southern part of India, south of Vindhyas and Satpuras. Deccan Hyderabad, princely state of Hyderabad, princely state of Hyderabad and Berar, and various the wars, dismemberment of the territory of Hyderabad or secession of territory of Hyderabad during the Carnatic Wars, Mysore Wars, Maratha Wars, and subsidiary alliance that the Nizam entered with the British East India Company Bahadur in 1798. And there were 7 Nizams who ruled the state of Hyderabad, and there are also 3 more. And after partition independence, the Indian Independence Act 1947, instrument of accession documents and standstill agreement, and Muhammad Qasim Razvi and RAZAKARS, and brief mention of Operation Polo, that is the military engagement, and finally dismemberment of the state of Hyderabad. This is about Nizamiya Hyderabad in brief, a fascinating journey of round about 250 years. After completion of this presentation, you will get a strong articulation if you live in this part of Asia, South Asia, that is in Deccan, in Telangana or southern provinces, or whenever you visit Hyderabad, or even if you are in Uttar Bharat, you will get a very clear clarity about Hyderabad, Deccan. This was the map of South India, Deccan, round about 1300, 1400 circa, or 1500, when the Bahmani Empire broke into fire. Splintered states, sister states or daughter states. Here there should be a bearer Suba, the bearer Nawabs, Sultans, Ahmadnagar Sultans, Bijapur Sultans, Golconda Sultans and Bidar Sultans. Finally, Ahmadnagar swallowed Bearer and Bijapur swallowed Bidar and Mughals swallowed Ahmadnagar. So finally, two entrants remained in Deccan during the Mughal time, Bijapur and Golconda. And in 1680, with a huge army, the Mughal ruler Aurangzeb invaded South India to finally extirpate the Marathas. The Maratha problem, after the death of Chhatrapati Shivaji in 1680, his son Shambhuji accessed the throne, and Alamgir wanted to extirpate their state. In that process, he conquered Bijapur and Golconda. So these were the 6 Subas of Mughals in Deccan. They are Hyderabad Suba, Bijapur Suba. This green area is Bidar Suba, Bidar Suba, that is the Bijapur Suba, Hyderabad Suba, Bidar Suba, this is Aurangabad Suba, this is Bearer Suba, this is Kamdesh Suba. Even though these were the maximum extent territories, soon the Mughals lost control of much of the territories. And the prominent general of Alamgir, at that time called Komaruddin Khan, was appointed as the Subedar of Subas of Deccan in round about a few years after the death of Aurangzeb. He has his eyes on Deccan. He differed with Muhammad Shah, the successor of Alamgir, and came to Deccan, and he won a fiercely contested battle called Battle of Saharkada in 1724. That is the date of the beginning of formation of Suba of Hyderabad. Still, it was under the Mughal control. It professed loyalty to Mughals, and Muhammad Shah reconciled, and he gave him a title also, Asafja, that is one of the highest titles of the Mughal Empire, Asafja. So he is known as Komaruddin Khan, was his original name. Nizamul Mulk title was given by Farrukh Shah, the Mughal emperor, and Asafja was the title given to Nizam by the Muhammad Shah, Mughal emperor. That was in 1724, and Nizam was a very powerful military general and strategist of the Mughals and worked under Aurangzeb also. But he has a very powerful rival in southern Indian politics at that time, Baji Rao the Peshwa. And he couldn't make much progress against him, and both made a compromise, and he was let alone govern his province with much less molestation. So this was originally the Suba of Hyderabad, and later it lost a lot of territories also. Eventually, this is what it shrank to by the 1798, almost by 1800. This is how the state almost looked like. And during the British Raj time, there were 2 Hyderabaads actually. Hyderabad, so the people used to call, when you say Hyderabad, which Hyderabad? There is a Hyderabad, a prominent city and capital of Sindh province at that time called Sindh. You can see here the Sindh province. You have a Tharparkar district close to Kutch and Rajputana. You have a Shangar district and Khairpur princely state. Sukar district and Jacobabad district, Larkana district and Dadu district. This is the Karachi district, this is the Tata, this is the Hyderabad district. Hyderabad was a city on the bank of river Sindhu or Indus. It is also a divisional headquarters and the capital of Sindh at that time. So during the British Raj, when you say Hyderabad, it's always use a suffix Hyderabad Sindh, Hyderabad Deccan. Hyderabad Deccan was very important because it was ruled by the Nizam. Nizam is a very powerful, a very popular and Muslim leader after the death of Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. So that is the Hyderabad Deccan, Hyderabad Sindh. 7 Nizams succeeded. There are totally 7 Nizams that ruled the princely state of Hyderabad. The first one is Komaruddin Khan, titled Asafja. He ruled from 74 for around about 24 years, 1724 to 24. That means 1748. That is the year the Nizam passed away, and also Chhatrapati Shahuji Maharaj also passed away, the grandson of Shivaji, and that's the same year the Mughal ruler Muhammad Shah also passed away. Afterwards, the South India was plunged into what is called Carnatic Wars. That means wars between the French East India Company and the British East India Company for the domination of the rulers of South India. The 3 wars were fought almost after the death of Nizam in 1748 to 1763. And finally, the British were successful in the war, and French was reduced to the status of mere traders and without any further political ambitions. British East India Company became the powerful, the ruler, one of the major contender for the land and political power in Asia, in South Asia. And Asafja passed away after 24 years of Nizamiyat from 1724 to 1748, and he was succeeded by a series of short rulers, his son Nasir Jung, and they ruled almost for 2 years or so, and Muzaffar Jung, his grandson, ruled for 2 or 3 months, and his other son Salabat Jung ruled nearly for 9 or 10 years. And these were not called Nizams, they didn't take the title or whatever it may be. The second Asafja was the Nizam's son Nizam Ali Khan, ruled from 60 to 1803, almost 40 years, a very long tenure he has. And during his tenure, Nizam Ali Khan, the son of Nizam I, entered into a subsidiary alliance with the British East India Company. At the time Governor General was Richard Wellesley. By signing the treaty subsidiary alliance, he led the British contingent of the force to stay in Hyderabad, the capital. The expenses of the contingent will be paid by the Nizam in cash or assignment of territory. The British will recruit, train and use the forces inside the Nizami territory or outside the Nizam's territory. They guaranteed the protection of Nizam from his internal enemies, that is internal subversion or rebellion, or external enemies. After the death in 1803, his son Sikindar, the Asafja III, became the Nizam, and the eponymous city Sikandrabad was named after him. That is essentially British cantonment area, called Sikandrabad. Later it became across the lake Hussain Sagar. Hyderabad was the capital of the state of Hyderabad. And he died 1829 and followed by Nasirud-Dawla, who ruled up to 1857. The 2 or 3 days before the death of Nasirud-Dawla, the rebellion broke down in Uttar Bharat against the Britishers, and he was succeeded by Afzalud-Dawla. And most of the time, Afzalud-Dawla's time, the The administration was under the control of the regents and the chief ministers, and Salarjung won. And he was succeeded by Mehboob Ali Khan in 1869 and 1911 ruled, and Mehboob Ali Khan in 1903 with Karjan made a treaty. That means he gave the northern part of Hyderabad state called Bearer. The Bearer today consists of the Bearer is the Penganga river in the southern part of the Bearer joining the Godavari, and these are the Ajanta ranges in the west. So the east side of Ajanta range, north side of Penganga, west side of where the river is the Bearer. It has the districts Buldana, Akola and Washim, Elichpur and Amaravati, and Yavatmal or Vani or Woon district. This was assigned in trust to the British Raj, and with nominal sovereignty of the Nizam. Practically he gave that land. And after his death in 1911, the last ruler was the Mir Usman Ali Khan, Asafzah VII, and when India became independent, all the princely states, there were around about 530 or so, the princely states in India, all of them have joined the dominion of India, and Nizam didn't join, and he expressed his intention to become independent. So in order to avoid any complication, and that means he didn't sign the instrument of accession between the dominion of India, that is the Indian state, and the state of Hyderabad. The standstill agreement was made, and Nizam agreed to give the control over the defense of his territory, Hyderabad state, and external affairs to be administered by the dominion of dominion of India. That arrangement didn't work. The unrest in the state and insecurity among its subjects, and the feeling that Hindus were treated like chattel in the state, and the Nizam's aggressive attitude, and he is helping of Pakistan and dominion of Pakistan and loaning him lot of money to the government, and the rise of the communist rebellion throughout the state of Hyderabad, and the RAZAKARS took over the administration. RAZAKARS essentially the militant organization headed by at the time Qasim Razvi, who wanted to keep the Hyderabad state as Usmanistan, as an independent Islamic country in the heartland of Bharat. That was not acceptable to the Indians in general, and Sardar Patel waited for some time, and in 48 June, when the last Governor General of Dominion of India, Louis Mountbatten left, Rajagopalachari took over, and in September, the India did a military action, sent the armed forces, and Nizam capitulated without any fighting within 4 days. And the state of Hyderabad, who contended that is independent after partition for nearly 12 plus months or so, merged with the dominion of India. He signed the instrument of accession. And in 1950, when India became a republic, and the state of Hyderabad made a state in the Republic of India, and it has three important linguistic regions: Telugu-speaking Telangana regions, and Kannada-speaking Raichur, Gulbarga, and Bidar districts, and Marathi-speaking Western Marathwada region, Aurangabad and Jalna, and Parbhani, Nanded, and Ushmanabad and Bid. 1956 State Reorganization Act trifurcated the state into three parts. Telugu-speaking districts were merged with Andhra state, and capital was moved from Kurnool on the bank of river Tungabhadra, this is Kurnool, to Hyderabad. That was the capital of the princely state of Hyderabad, or Nizam's Hyderabad, or Asafi Hyderabad. And Raichur and Kulbaragi, or Gulbarga and Bidar, were merged with Mysore state, later named itself as a Karnataka state. And Aurangabad, Parbani, Nanded, Usmanabad and Bhid were merged into Bombay state. Later it became Maharashtra state. So that is in brief about Nizamiya Hyderabad. Hyderabad is a city in Deccan, and it is also the name of a state that survived nearly round about 224 years from 1724 to 1948. Year 24 to 24 is 48 and 200. 17 to 19, 224 years. When we say Hyderabad during the British Raj, there is always a confusion what Hyderabad you are talking about. In order to avoid the confusion, people used to say it is Hyderabad Deccan when they want to specifically delineate it from Hyderabad Sindh, that is now in Pakistan. The Hyderabad state is essentially a successor state of Bahamanis and 5 splintered groups and Mughal territory, which is a 6 subas: Hyderabad Suba, Bijapur Suba and Bidar Suba, Aurangabad Suba, Berar Suba and Khandesh Suba. And after the death of Aurangzeb, who conquered Bijapur kingdom and Golconda kingdom, that is Hyderabad kingdom, and made the part of Mughal empire, he is a prominent general called Komaruddin Khan, also titled Asaf Jah I or Nizamul Mulk. The title Nizamul Mulk is taken by the descendants. He established the state of Hyderabad as a de facto independent state. That means still it acknowledged the suzerainty of superior state, the Mughal state, which was practically declining at that time, but it maintained its de facto independence, formally acknowledging the suzerainty of Mughals. A series of 7 Nizams succeeded, starting with Asaf Jah I, then Nizam Ali Khan, Sikandar Jah, Nazirud-Dawla, Asafud-Dawla, Mehboob Ali Khan, and ultimate last Nizam, Asaf Jah VII, that is Mir Usman Ali Khan, one of the richest men of India world at that time. And partition came with a lot of issues. Nizam didn't merge his princely state into the dominion of India. That means he didn't sign the instrument of accession and signed a standstill agreement, got a respite for nearly 12 plus or 13 months or so. The rise of the communist anarchy and RAZAKAR Muslim League's anarchy within the state forced the Dominion of India to intervene and do a 4-day military action called Operation Polo, where the Nizam capitulated and joined the Dominion of India. And a few years later, in 1956, the Dominion was bifurcated. Finally, that is the end of the state of Hyderabad. So, we talked about Nizamiya Hyderabad, Asafiya Hyderabad, Hyderabad as a part of Mughal Suba, Hyderabad as an independent state, Hyderabad under the pressure from Marathas, Mysoreans and Britishers, and finally entered into subsidiary alliance with the East India Company in 1798 when Richard Wellesley was the Governor General, became de facto a subservient or protectorate, a minor state of the superior state, that is the East India Company, later British Raj, which is the paramount power, and they stationed their cantonment and troops in Hyderabad, that is called Sikandrabad city. And finally the name Hyderabad as a state disappeared from the political map when it was trifurcated and the linguistic districts were merged into the surrounding provinces. So this is briefly about the Nizamiya Hyderabad, the bird's eye view from 1724 to 1948. This is J. Reddy, your facilitator from South Asia in maps that will bring you lot of Indian history, geography, heritage and culture in the form of icons, pictures and images. Thanks for considering promoting our channel with your comments and compliments and active responses. And this is J. Reddy, and I will see you soon in future presentations on Hyderabad, Nizamiya Hyderabad further. Thank you very much.